Welcome to New York City, the best place to take pictures almost in the world. Like, there's so many photo ops in this city, but I'm gonna tell you some that are off the beaten path that you didn't even know you could take pictures at. Check out my 10 top places to take pictures in New York City. I'm going to start with one that you've probably never heard of. There is a whole art exhibit in the subway station here on 14th Street and 8th Avenue. It's called Life Underground, and it is a mix of different bronze sculptures. They're all kind of criminals stealing with like social anarchy, but it's really cool. There are little surprises that you're going to find all over the station. So this makes for the perfect photo op because who doesn't want to pose with these awesome little bronze statues? Next up, we have the Times Square subway station, sticking with the underground theme, but this art mosaic is so cool. The majority of them are kind of New Year's Eve influenced. So you'll see a lot of hats and horns and just like New Year's Eve styles on people. It's really cool, and I think it really captures a moment in history. There's so many different people here that you can do almost any pose you want. There's people walking, jumping, there's people blowing horns, like I said, so you can pose next to a number of different things. In the same subway station, you're going to find the Shuttle Train. This is the best place to do any of your train pictures that you want to do because it's really easy to find an empty seat and find a corner that is not going to have anybody else on it, especially during the business hours, like non-rush hour hours. So I like to go towards the end of the night when there's not many people around and take all my photos. You can do dances on here, you can do all sorts of things. But the main reason I suggest this train is because it literally only goes back and forth between Times Square and Grand Central Station. So you can stay on the train, go back and forth as many times as you want until you get that perfect picture. And you do not have to worry about ending up in Brooklyn or getting lost or anything because, like I said, it only goes in between two stations. This train is also cool because it gets decorated with different ads throughout the year. So depending on what commercial is popular or what movie is coming up, you're going to see all sorts of different decorations on this train. So it's definitely cool to check out and take pictures in. Next up for the top 10 places to take pictures in New York City is basically anywhere on the west side. Like if you go to the west side, this view is so beautiful. There's boats over here. There's an area called Boat Basin, which I really like, and the architecture, as you can see, is really cool. The restaurant isn't there anymore, but maybe one day it will open again. But otherwise, look at this view, like the sun sets on that side, so you get really nice views. And you also have Pier I Cafe. This one has a whole long pier that goes out into the water. So it makes it really easy for you to get that skyline view because you're out at an angle and then there's boats and everything. It's really pretty. Now let's get on top of some rooftops because this is another great place to take that skyline view in New York City. The Press Lounge on 48th and 11th Avenue. I mean, look at this, guys. You're not going to find any other view like this in the city. It's conveniently located all the way west, so you get that awesome 360 view of the city. And just check out these pictures. They speak for themselves. You're going to take amazing pictures here and spend most of your night here if you go here. Plus, you can get a drink while you're taking pictures, so makes it one of my favorites. Now on off to the High Line. This, as you guys know, is my favorite park in the city. You can take amazing pictures here. You get skyline views, you get art infused in here. It's just really unique, and you're going to take pictures here that you won't be able to take anywhere else in the city. Just really gives you a unique New York City look, and it has that New York City vibe while also having that added nature effect to it also. At the end of the High Line, you're going to run into Hudson Yards. It's home of the Vessel, and it has this really cool interactive mall inside. So they always have some sort of artistic thing. They always decorate for the holidays, of course, and then each of the stores kind of like bleed out into the mall. So they kind of have an outdoor feeling. Even though you're indoors, you get that outdoor vibe too. And then, of course, there's the Vessel. You are going to spend hours here just hanging out and taking pictures in front of this awesome thing. And keep an eye out for artwork because they do have pop-up art around here too. This New York photo opportunity is another of my favorites. Everybody always talks about going to the top of the Empire State Building, but why go up there when you can go to a bar right next door where you also get to see the Empire State Building, which, let's be real, we all wanted to get pictures in front of the Empire State Building. So go to this rooftop. It's 230 Fifth Avenue, and it's going to give you some awesome views with the Empire State. They have indoor and outdoor opportunities, and on the roof they often have igloos with like blankets or robes for you to hang out in when it's cold. Next up, I'm taking you to the Brooklyn Bridge, but not on the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm actually taking you over to the Seaport area where they have these really cool like cobblestones, so you can get some really neat pictures over here. And there's always some sort of artwork over by the Brooklyn Bridge too, so you'll always stumble upon some fun photo opportunities over by the Brooklyn Bridge. But this is out on the pier, and if you walk all the way out to the end of the pier, you can actually sit down and just stare at the Brooklyn Bridge. It's really cool. Now I'm taking you over to the historical area of New York City, the Lower East Side. This place is still pretty like dingy, but in a fun way. You're going to find all sorts of graffiti and street art down here just randomly all over the place. And then as you're walking around the city, check out these cute little like sidewalk chalk things that are kind of all over the place. They're just these little pick-me-ups that you're going to see all over, and they're by Han Honsher, coolest artist in New York City, because he literally just goes out in the middle of the night and puts these on the ground everywhere. This next tip is a total just bonus tip that I love taking pictures from over here. I mean, look at that view, but it's over in Long Island City. And you can hang out over here and there's not many crowds. It's mostly families that live in the area. And this is a great spot to just hang out, take pictures. No one's going to bother you. It's super chill, super quiet. And you could just spend half of the day here or most of the day here just sitting on this grassy knoll and taking in that view or taking pictures. And if you come here at night, the Pepsi Cola sign lights up and it looks so cool from underneath. It's just huge and massive. And I just think it's a really cool piece of history that it's still there and it still lights up at night. I just think it's really cool and an awesome part of New York City that hopefully never gets taken down. And this area is also a great place to get that New York City skyline once it's all lit up at night. So if you're a photographer, this is a great place to come and just hang out and get plenty of pictures with nobody bugging you or bothering you, and it's way out of the way of the tourist areas, so you'll have plenty of space and plenty of opportunities to get those photos that you really wanted to get but you couldn't get from where you are in Manhattan because of all the other tourists crowding around and trying to get the same picture. I forgot to mention they also have a few piers out here. This is a view from the pier. You can go all the way out onto the pier and really get those out in the middle of the darkness kind of awesome photos with the skyline in the background. And my last bonus tip, I know everybody's kind of like scared of Central Park at night, but generally it's safe if you just stay on the lit paths, like especially around this area by 72nd Street. There's usually a lot of concerts and things over here, so there's a lot of things letting out in the nighttime, so you don't have to worry too much because there's people everywhere. But this was me at like 1 a.m, so that's a different story. But I wanted to film this just to show you guys how cool it looks at night. This is another great place to get some awesome pictures. It's also really cool during the day, obviously, too. But this is the Castle of Central Park. And then you also have these fun tunnels, and I just think they look so much better lit up at night than they do during the day. But these are all over Central Park, but there's a couple next to the castle also. So this is a great place to kind of stop and get a picture if you're with a group of friends. You know, safety first. Make sure you travel in groups. But if you have that adventurous spirit, this is a great place to take pictures around this area. Again, it's around 72nd Street, and check it out. If you've made it this far in my video, you guys are some of my ride or dies. So these are some of my best tips. I left them for the end. Trust me when I say you're gonna see people taking pictures everywhere. Don't be afraid to ask for a collab. They might not take a picture with you, but they may be like, dude, the lighting over here was amazing. Or you might have an awesome collab with somebody who's a bigger star than you even realize. There are puddles everywhere in New York City. Don't worry what the puddle actually is, but you can get some really awesome shots just playing with the puddles in the city. And don't be afraid to go play out in the rain. I mean, look how much cooler the lights and everything look with a little water on the road. And when you see some weird pop-up thing, go inside. You never know what is in there. New York is known for its pop-ups, and you're gonna be able to get some amazing photos in these places that are just randomly there for the weekend or for the day. And even the lighting and all that stuff is going to give you some crazy, crazy cool stuff. And last but not least, if you can come to New York City during the holidays, holiday season is amazing here. The decorations are so cool. They make for really good Christmas cards. I mean, check this out. It's in Time Warner Center. They put these up every year. They also have these crazy statues and things. So don't be afraid to just explore everywhere they have holiday pop-up stuff. And don't only go to like the tourist trap areas where you know there's going to be stuff. Explore, get out there and see new things and make new pictures that haven't been made before yet. If you like this video, hit that subscribe because next video I am talking about the places you are going to love to explore in New York City. I'm talking bars and restaurants that are unlike anywhere else in the world. Check out the places I think you should go if you only have 24 hours in New York City. I'll see you in that video as soon as I post it.